lot of repairs that need to be made.
Yeah. They have to fix all the holes, and because it's metal, they also have to put that rust proofing and patch. So it's a lot of work just to patch up all our old buildings and then the paint on top of that.
Okay, I'm okay with that. Thank you.
So we have to call propose an amendment, right? They have to propose an amendment.
I don't think I think we just have to present, I mean, you have a recommended motion for the second one. We just have to retool that to include, I mean, for my sake at least, to include the list of projects in that motion. We can take up the first one, the first recommended motion. I don't have a problem with that one, Chair, if that's your intent.
If you vote for them separately.
Yeah.
Vote for what separate?
You can call for the vote for the first motion. Authorized to expend 342.8.
Okay, on here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna call for a motion to authorize the executive director to award the base camp improvement and other works contract to Dawson Solutions LLC in the amount of 342. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Mataafa made the motion and Commissioner Souza with the second. Staff, can you take a roll call for the vote, please?
Vice Chair Saito,
Aye.
Commissioner Chang,
Aye.
Commissioner Mataafa,
Aye.
Commissioner Souza.
Aye.
Okay, and then you can ask for authorize executive director to solicit and award the balance of CIP funds with the following list, and Terry can read the list
Okay, sure.
of items.
Okay.
Yeah, to support the additional base camp improvements. Yeah, and
Okay.
then call for, and then you can ask for that motion.
Okay, so for the last one, we did get approval by the board. So I'm gonna move on to the second motion, which is to authorize the executive director the authority to solicit and award the balance of the CIP funds to support additional Kaho'olawe base camp improvement projects that staff
Can you read
Gavigan
the list,
will
Terry?
read the list.
Will include transformers for base camp, replace PEMS batteries, replace windows, provide materials to complete boardwalk, purchase Energy Star efficient equipment, materials for LZ1 shelter, and funds to repair the ohua in support of these projects.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
we have Commissioner Souza making the motion and Commissioner Mataafa with the second. Can I get a roll call, please, staff?
Vice Chair Saito,
Aye.
Commissioner Chang,
Aye.
Commissioner Mataafa,
Aye.
Commissioner Souza.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, there goes our action items for the day. Mahalo to the commissioners for the vote. Okay, so we will be moving on to item number 5, administrative business. And I will turn it over to Mike.
Okay, first one is review of bills related to Kaho'olawe. HB 1800, the budget bill was finalized yesterday, CD1. We didn't get, so in summary, since the last meeting, the SD1 WAM added 4.425 million for CIP funding for the KIA project, phase 2, actually. We didn't get it in the CD1, but we didn't lose any money because they wanted to eliminate any vacant positions. So we ended up the year where we started, which is good. So that's it for HB 1800. Next year, but at least we know that WAM is interested in supporting us. So we'll be making a bigger push next year to reintroduce the 4.25. The 4.25 included the final design, construction drawings, but also about $900,000 for the nursery, the boathouse area, which was, we were going to develop a educational pavilion that we can utilize there for volunteers to utilize while they're there, during the week and also as a staging area for PKO.
Okay,
So that was what part of the funding was for. So 1800, that's HB 1800. The HB 1889 state snail that passed and was signed into law as Act 4. It seems that the snail that they picked for Kaho'olawe, they thought was extinct, but Paul Higuchino, our restoration manager, says he's seen it. So they're now having discussions between the state entomologist and is it entomologist or somebody, the state snail person.
Mala,
Yeah,
not a Mala, something.
yeah, somebody. Yeah, so they might send an expedition to go find it since we kind of knew it was, it was there and they thought it was extinct. The other things that happened in the legislature, we had confirmation hearings and we had full votes by the Senate for GM's 584, 585, and 600, which is for Commissioners Mataafa, Saito, and Souza, respectively. So congratulations for your full Senate confirmations. And that's it for the legislative update. Moving on to Executive Director report. The budget is attached for your review. We have no variances. This is a report going up to, I believe we're up to the month of March, which is about 3/4 of the year. We're about 51% spent of the budget, so we're under budget right now. For non-personnel costs, we are significantly under budget. Part of it is we have not gotten final contracts from the Department of Health for their new grant, the DOH 5 project. So we haven't started spending the funds for that. And we have been delayed in getting the new hires on payroll. So we're working through that. And that's why our personnel costs are only at 6%, where we should be about 75 or so percent. Long range schedule, a couple items that stands out for us is we left the month of June kind of open. We're waiting to hear what happens from the Festival Pacific, the canoes. We heard that they wanted to part through Kaho'olawe, but we have not heard word back from the coordinator who is working with the canoes. That's Bonnie Kapena. Kapena, yeah, she's coordinating all the canoe action. And we haven't heard back from her yet what their plans are. I have heard of yesterday, because I'm on the FESPAC host committee, only 4 nations have submitted their rosters out of the 28.
Wow.
So we're significantly behind on response from the various nations. And then for your information, FESPAC starts on June 5th with the welcoming of the canoes at Hakipu, and then June 6th, opening ceremonies at Stan Sheriff Center. And then starting from the 7th all the way until the following Saturday, the village for the festival will be at the convention center. Yeah. So most of the activities will be at the convention center. Okay, moving on to admin, staffing, and personnel. Commissioner's confirmation. I just reported that. So you guys, 3 confirmations. The following commissioner's term will be expiring at the end of this fiscal year. Commissioner Evans, her term expires in June. She still has 5 years remaining availability for a second term. And Commissioner Pang expires also in June, and he also has 5 years remaining for a second term. KIRC hires. With the vacancy of our maintenance and vessel operator, because we promoted Lopaka White to be our new reserve operations manager, we have promoted the current logistics specialist, Grant Thompson is now the new boat captain. So he'll take over that. And with the vacancy of his position, we have hired Kalei Guth to be the new logistics specialist at First Mate for the boat. We have also made an offer to our culture resource project coordinator, Hoku Cody. She was selected for the position as she's undergoing the hiring process we have to establish the position since it was eliminated. Now we're bringing it back. We're getting that all established, and once that established, we can work through her hiring process. We hope to get her on board by the end of this fiscal year. Public information outreach, government relations, legislative interactions. When we found out that some of that's not in here, but when we found out that the WAM had inserted the funding, because they never told me, I didn't ask for it, but they put it in there. We sent out a series of, how many letters, Terry? Was it 20?
I don't think it was that many. I think it was probably about
But
15.
over a dozen, right? Over a dozen, close to 20 letters to all the members of the Finance Committee, House Finance Committee, and all the House members that we worked with over the years, or we knew, or I knew, or something like that, just to try to get their support. And then we also thanked Senators Dela Cruz and also Senator Inouye for their support in inserting the funding for us. So even though we didn't get it, at least we know that they're interested in supporting it. So we'll make a bigger effort for it next year. And also, we will have a tentative July House Water and Land on-site visit, possibly. We scheduled it for the July access, but this is a upcoming election year, so we're not sure how many House members will be able to make it. So we'll see. The ongoing saga of the OHUA, we were able to get I think we left off, we needed new turbos. The problem, the vendor would not, only wants cash or check. And so he wouldn't take, or credit card, but the price was more than what our credit card limit was. So we got a purchase order, cut a check, the check had to get to them, deposit in the bank, then they placed the order. So that took a month. We got the turbos, we installed them, they worked great. The boat is up and running. We still have the noise that we had from the very beginning. Now we think, it might be, I think it's valves, either intake valves or something like that. So it's not like a gear running or anything, but so we still got to find the noise, but the boat runs fine. We're just going to keep running it until we figure out exactly what the noise is. So that's why we may have another service that we need to do, try to get the thing up to like 4.0. During one of the confirmation hearings, I did get a request from Senator Inouye asking us if we needed CIP money for a new boat. And I said, yes. So she said, send us a CIP request for a new boat. So we're working on that too. Okay. That's it for those updates.
Any comments, discussion, questions by the board?
No.
All good?
Okay, the last update I have.
Chair,
Yeah.
just one thing, I do have to leave at 2 p.m. today, to attend another meeting, so I know it'll affect quorum. I just wanted to, let you know that, I do have to leave at 2 to attend a budget meeting.
I think we're fine. I think we're done with the action items. So this is all informative
Yeah.
for the public, all of the
Okay.
rest of the stuff. So you can be excused when you need to
Okay, thank you.
head out. But hopefully we can finish because
Yeah.
all we have left is the project
Yeah.
status updates.
The new sunshine rules is that you need quorum for action, but if you lose quorum, you can still do non-action items briefings. Yeah, with a less than quorum. Yeah.
So with that being said, I do apologize as well, but I'm going to have to leave now. I have a 2:00 media briefing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But thank you very
Thank you,
much.
thank
No,
you.
mahalo to
Yeah.
all of you. Thank you
Yeah.
for the good work, everyone.
Mahalo,
Thank you so
Chang.
much.
Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next update is we're trying to get something first for Iola Kaho'olawe. So we're gonna have a series. I think we're gonna be briefing this on every commission meeting. Next step, next step, next step. So this first step, what we want to do was at least put together some items for you to digest. The first in our packet is the planned goals and actions. So we have 8 goals with action items for each goal. And what I asked the staff was to go through all the projects they've done, and we're putting together a composite list of projects that we have done with what were the outcomes and how does it align to each of the goals and action items. So you have the 8 lists here. The 8 are restore and conserve the natural environment, establish programs for learning, preserve the history, create sustainable shelters, maintain cultural sites, expand awareness, provide sanctuary for dialogue, and establish Kaho'olawe's role through the transition to Lahui. A lot of these projects, KIRC did not take a lead on or did anything because it's a community-based project. Our next step after all the things we did here is we're going to be asking the Ohana to do something similar, to look at all the projects they did over the years and try to tie them back into this matrix. And then we'll create a working group together to kind of digest all the things we did and see what items we were able to do, where we are, and what the intention for the next plan should be. And then take those items and then eventually create a plan. And that'll be over the next 2 years working on that. And hopefully by the end of 26, we will have a new plan to go beyond 26. So we looked at 3 program areas. Right now, we looked at restoration program. They're kind of out. They did their own thing. So they looked at 3 major areas: plant the hard pan, build erosion controls, and restore native habitats, which are all under goal number 1, restore and conserve natural environment. So you can take a look at what they did. They summarized their different planting projects, how many plants they did, locations, the duration, how much funding we got, and then also if we cleared any invasives. And then under the restore the habitats, we also looked at the restoration projects, where they were at, what the name of the project was, when we did it, locations like what area of the island, and then about how many acreage. So they have a little summary in there. They also added things about the different projects, and then a recover Kaho'olawe plant. They had a little synopsis there for to take a look at. Oh, and then there was another one in their 5B, which is grow food on the island. We started a small project to try to grow Uwala, but you can't, because we're not there all the time, we can't have constant watering. So we still have to resolve that project. And if we're going to expand growing, then we need to spend more time on the island, which means more funding. Ocean program, they included a matrix. So you have a table with the name of the various projects, when the projects were done, what the outcome were, and where does it tie back into. So like example, the first one of their project is Hawaii Undersea Research Lab. They did acoustic tagging and document spillover of bottom fish, and that goes back to 6C, which is reestablish terrestrial and marine cause. So they did a lot, most of them goes back to that project. And then you can take a look at all their different projects they've done over the years and how they tie back into Iola Kaho'olawe. And then the last one is we have an admin program, which is includes mostly the IMLS project, which is the Museum Library Science. So we have the different projects we did, IMLS 1, which is the virtual museum. We have some other, the mobile app, expand public access through live stream and video. So we have a bunch of these different projects. One that's not included that we still have to write for next time is operations. We have accomplished a lot of the operational projects like PV system on island, expanding water collections, a bunch of different operational projects. So we'll have another timeline just like this for operations. And then we'll work in with Ohana. Hopefully we can do something similar like this, like a little timeline or a little list and how they tie back. Once we get all this list of projects, we'll have a team of people that we can look at it, dive deeper into each of these projects, what worked, what didn't work, and make recommendations of how we proceed on. And then, because we'll have to ask Ohana who would they want to put on it. The last time we did the development of this, we had Daviana, Emmett was there, John Ching, and the Maka were the Ohana reps. So we'll have to put new Ohana reps this time, yeah,
Okay,
with Davy.
yeah.
Any questions in what we're doing with Iola Kanaloa?
Yeah, thank you for putting this together, Mike. I appreciate it. So I was looking through your list of projects that the staff currently does. And so in 2026, I know a lot of these projects, and I'm looking at the timeline, the project dates. Some of them end like within this year, but for like more long range planning, is that what the work with PKO is gonna entail, is like the more long range planning for both PKO and for KIRC? I'm just trying to project out, we have these overall goals of eventually, turning back to Native Hawaiian entities, and I just want to know how far off we are from that point with all the projects we're doing, or if the projects that we're doing now are eventually going to evolve into something different over time. Sorry,
Mostly,
go
yeah,
ahead.
so the Iola Kanaloa provided like the framework for what grants, because most of our projects are all grant based because we need the funding.
Right.
What we have for funding right now is kind of infrastructure. It allows us to go to island and house people on the island and do things on the island. But then with Iola Kanaloa, it provides kind of the framework of where do we target grants? Like we go for grants that are going to be coastal restorations. We're going to go for grants that plant the hard pan. We're going to go for grants that removes invasives. Or like, they target all these different items that are on the goals and actions to get those things done. And then once we get the grants, we can move on forward. So right now, the grants that we are pending that we should get award in June will carry us beyond 26, and they're targeting coastal wetland restoration, planting projects, and invasive species removals. And I think the newest IMLS that also is that's a
That one is, you would have to ask.
yeah. So yeah, because we're still putting in. It's usually like a 1-year lead time for between proposals, review, and awards. So the guidelines of Iola Kanaloa tells us where we should target our grant writing capabilities into. And we haven't officially like split this table up into things that KIRC would do and things that Ohana would do. Because but some of the things like the sovereignty issue, that's sort of something that we've written a sovereignty plan already of what KIRC is going to do.
Yeah.
And we've already briefed it to the Ways and Means Committee because they asked for a presentation on it last year. And OHA asked for a presentation on it. But because it's the actual action is negotiate terms with the state. Since the KIRC is the state, they'll be the state negotiators. We haven't done anything on the other side of it. And also the advocate for aloha aina, some of these items are outside of our statute. So we haven't really touched those, but it's within the capabilities of the Ohana to do. So we're kind of leaving it to them. Like represent Kanaloa and governance discussions, like I think that's out of our statute as KIRC. I don't know, Dan may be talking about that. Like when it talks about Native Hawaiian sovereignty issues, I don't think the KIRC has a mandate to be in those discussions other than to respond to questions regarding our transfer statute. Yeah.
Did that answer your question, Commissioner Matafa?
I think so. But I'll defer to other commissioners if Commissioner Souza or yourself has questions in the meantime while I ponder the response.
Yeah, I'm trying to better understand your questions. Are you asking if some of these goals and actions are gonna be continued beyond 2026? And
Yeah, I think they are. I think based off of director's response, it sounds like they are. I just know things will probably evolve in the future, and I wonder if the long-term planning, the long-range planning that we're doing within these next 2 years will address how we evolve over time to meet our goals as a commission. But I think it will. I think it will. I think based off of executive director's explanation, it sounds like they'll be addressing that long-range planning piece in the next couple of years or so.
Part of it really is the funding, is a funding issue. Like we only have the funding that they allow us within from our general fund budget is just kind of a interest, you know, as I was saying, it just provides like the network for us to do things. Now we have to go hunt for all, you know, it's also a question of what are popular grants to fund, depending on the administration that's happening. So, you know, 4 years ago, we really didn't have any funding capabilities because there was no this kind of environmental stuff. We try to look at some infrastructure stuff. You know, it depends on what is in the national realm is being funded, so that we can go hunt for some of these dollars, you know, that are out there, or what the other agencies are willing to provide us funding for, and maybe OHA will provide us funding one of these days.
Okay, any other thumbs up by Commissioner Souza. Any other comments or discussions? Executive Director, Naho OPE. Yeah, okay. If not, we can move on to the final item of the meeting, and it's project status updates.
Okay. We got staff online. IMLS 4. Actually, that project is done. We're just pending. Oh, you want to do update?
I've been fine.
You're 5, huh? Okay, so IMLS 4, that project is actually done. We have it here in the packet because we're waiting for final billing. KIRC staff, you guys on? Is Matt there?
Yes, we are. Can you guys see us?
No.
Huh.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
We can
Yeah,
hear you
I
guys.
can hear you guys.
I think you gotta turn your camera on.
Something's
I get them on. You know this fancy new technology we get.
Oh,
Ah. The
Well, actually,
camera light's on and
technically they could brief just by verbal.
Right.
Yeah, so you guys can just go ahead and brief. So where are we on getting the final payment?
we are just updating the appropriation codes for our team members in the fiscal office to pass the money over for IMLS 4. So that
No, the
is
money
a
is
meeting
in,
I had.
the money is
It's in
here in the
fiscal?
building somewhere.
Yeah, it's in that building somewhere, and then I just gotta add an appropriation code that I only have access to. I met with the team at Fiscal who handles this last week, and we actually got a lot of these administrative stuff that I'm not too with or comfortable with. They laid it out for me to update some of these. So some of these monies will start coming in the next couple months by the next commission meeting.
Okay. IMLS 5, that's Carmela. Oh, introduce yourself first.
Hello, my name is Carmela Lorenzo, the GIS IT person. For IMLS 5, it was updating our technical resources. As of last month, earlier this month, all of our staff members have actually migrated to their new system on their laptops or their new PCs. Our public drive, internet-wise, in-house, that has been shut down. We have completely moved over our servers to the DLNR network, so we access stuff through the cloud. This project will end June 30th this year. We're at like 80% build out. We just need to build out the rest and close out the grant. And that'll be done, I guess, by the next commission meeting. And then the HTA, that
Okay.
sharing the stories of Kaho'olawe past, present, and future. One of the highlights is they did have the topographic map of Kaho'olawe repaired. That was at the Maui Ocean exhibit. And there has been videos that was done recently depicting past and current environmental KIRC restoration and marine debris removal projects. Mike also did a voiceover for that video. And QR codes are now being offered for virtual tours of Wahipana areas documented in the Maui Ocean Center exhibit. They are just waiting for quote for production of video content to close out the rest of the grant.
NACA, I guess that's Paul, right?
You hear me, Mike?
Yep, we hear you.
Okay. Good afternoon, commissioners. With the NACA grant, we are proceeding ahead in with the OHU up and running, proceeding ahead in removing alien species from the Keanakiki wetland area, and also cutting back and covering a lot of the native exotic grasses in the Lua o Ke'ali'olalo work area. We're planning to put our plant bid in for this project in May. We plan to plant from September to November of this year. Some of the species that we do plan to put in the ground at the Ke'ali'olalo, I have in order, I think, 5 or 10 ulu trees, a little higher elevation, a little more wet up there, and accessible to water. So we are trying to expand our ability to try to grow more food crops on Kaho'olawe. That's the NACA grant. Any questions on that?
Hey, you want to do Palu Palu o Kanaloa?
Okay, Palu Palu o Kanaloa. Right now we have actually not 21 plants, but 20 plants in cultivation. The one of the plants at the Maui Nui Botanical Garden did die the other month. Having these plants at lower elevation and in more civilized areas or not in the wild, they're more prone to different types of insects, more insects and diseases for plants that come in on ornamentals and spread around quite easily in these areas. We do have our partnership meeting coming up on May 6th, and we'll get an update on all the different facilities and how the plants are doing at the Kahanu Gardens, up at the Ho'olava Farms, and at the Olinda plant facilities. We are actively looking for other partners to distribute more plants to other organizations so that all the plants aren't in one area right now. For the most part, most of the plants are at the Olinda Rare Plant Facility here in Maui. So we are trying to work with other partners to spread out the plants. Any questions on?
DOH6?
Okay. DOH6, we finally, again, due to the Lahaina fires, the staff at Department of Health has been tending to other issues here on Maui. We did contact them about a year ago because we'd like to get going and hiring new staff and getting our project going. And they said they'll contact us in a month. So I think next week is the due date where we need to call them back and to get an update on where our MOA is with them right now. So again, DOH6, we plan to put in 30,000 plants in the Kamohio watershed area. Also to have monies to hire a staff for 3 years. Hopefully get other people up and trained in what we were doing in restoration. And put out soil infiltration plots in the area and also monitor the area with 5 different vegetation plots to measure a percent cover and species presence and survival. So we should be hearing from them, Department of Health, within the next couple of weeks or so. I think for all these projects in the Naka and the Kamohio project, there's a lot of opportunity for us to put in, sweet potato mounds in the area. The Kamohio area, and I believe Keali'olalo would be ideal, and were probably very heavily used in upland agriculture during the periods when the Hawaiians were on the island. Any questions?
Okay, thank you. Dean, CWC.
Mahalo, Paul.
Mahalo, Commissioner Saito.
Aloha. Good afternoon, commissioners. I'm here to present updates for the ocean program grants we're currently working on. The first being the CWC grant. It's $355,531,000 grant given to us by the United States Fish and Wildlife Services. Grant life runs from March 22nd to March 2022 to August 2024. Main objectives, deliverables are to enhance 2.69 acres of seasonal wetlands, conduct monitoring and outreach and education. Some of the main highlights of the project that we've accomplished and still need to do, the first being what we've already accomplished. We've hired a position in the ocean program. We've reached the goal of 20,000 plants. We've excavated the silt pond and done obligated road work to deter sedimentation runoff into the nearshore reef ecosystem. And we've deployed long-term ocean water quality devices. We still need to work on about 7/10 of an acre in the remaining life of the grant. We got a couple more monitoring programs to conduct and about 4 more lectures to do. We've spent about $164,000. We've billed for about $140,000. We haven't received anything yet, but actually we will be billing for quite a bit more in these next upcoming months as we start winding this down. During this reporting period, some of the major updates are we've increased our plantings to over 23,000 now. We did 2 more lectures and outreach programs, one to Seabury Hall and one to the 4-H Kaho'olawe chapter. And we submitted our annual interim report from January to December of 2023. That's it for the CWC. If there aren't any questions, I'll move on to the IMLS 6. So the IMLS 6 grant project is a grant funding of just under $100,000, $99,960,000 is provided by the Institute of Museums and Library Services. The project grant life is from July 2023 to June 2026. The main comprehensive goal of the project is KIRC will be conducting aerial surveys, circumnavigating the island to collect data in as broad a spectrum as possible and as fast as time possible. Through this data, we'll be creating a database shared with the PKO and their representatives to collaborate on a joint database of observations, environmental observations. This grant also provides transportation and access fees for the PKO into Honokanai'a on Kaho'olawe. During this reporting period, we haven't spent anything yet. We haven't billed anything. We haven't received anything, but we just concluded our first billed aerial survey. So we just did that like 2 weeks ago. So we spent and we will be billing shortly. During this reporting period, highlights to touch upon were we've secured the contract and thus begun, like I said, the first billing will be soon coming. And we're in conversations with representatives from the Protect Kaho'olawe Ohana and have scheduled a meeting to discuss the premise of the grant, objectives, and roles that will be taking place on May 1st. And that's it.
That's it for all the updates.
Yeah, that's it for all the updates.
For next meeting, we are looking at the last week in June for your calendars. We're still trying to get confirmation from Mikiala what works with her calendar, and she can get over here.
Okay, are there any other last minute, or we're nearing the end of the meeting? Any other comments, discussions? Any from the public before we close out our meeting? Okay.
Mike.
So, hey, Manny.
Mike, you there, Mike?
Yeah, I'm here.
Does the KIRC possess its own satellite phones in base camp?
Not satellite. We have our own microwave relay system, and we tap off of that for phone system. But not satellite. I don't believe that's satellite. You know, Eric?
No, there's no satellite communications. It's
Yeah.
a microwave link for internet and phones that goes between Kaho'olawe and Lanai, and then cable from there back to Maui.
Yeah, and then we do have good cell coverage on the island. From the top of the island, we have good cell coverage.
Yeah, I've been able to get cell coverage from the helipad, actually.
So Mike, as a naval officer, are you telling me that neither Dawson nor KIRC has its own satellite in base camp right now? Or are there no satellites that can be of use to you? Am I making sense, Mike?
Why, you got satellite service? You give us?
No. So are you saying that there is no satellite service for Kaho'olawe?
No, well, I mean, the dish TV is satellite, I guess.
I'm talking about a sat phone direct. No,
No.
Nobody has that. Not even Dawson.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
No, we don't. I don't think there's ever been a real need for it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because we have two means of communication. Well, we have three means. So we have the radio, which is separate from the microwave phone line, and then we have cell. So we have a triple communication network. So probably don't need satellite, would be just the fourth level.
Okay. Put them on my wish list. Grab you on satellite phone, Mike, for base camp. Okay.
Okay, Maddie.
No, I'm serious. So,
Yeah.
Is this Eric Brundage? We used to work together during the cleanup, Mike. Is that Mr. Brundage?
Yeah.
I would think that we had one, Mike. That's all I'm just asking. Maybe I'll go help get money to fund one then. Okay. Got it.
Because it's the service is expensive. And the actual minutes are really expensive.
Yeah. You only need them when you need them, right?
Well, I mean, we have radio. The radio network works great on the island. That's what we spend our money on, is the comms, our radio
Asking, Mike.
comms. Yeah.
Just asking.
Yeah. Okay.
Manny, could you explain why you would think it would be necessary for KIRC to get a satellite radio service? Just for my personal understanding.
I'm just Joe Blow. I'm just Joe Blow, Mike. Okay.
Thank you, Maddie.
No. We have a Hawaiian company that you've just awarded the contract to in base camp, right?
Yeah.
That has also just done the largest disaster in Maui County, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've read 1,141 lines from the Attorney General. Okay, Mike? And
Okay.
it was obvious. I respect you because you commanded submarines, Mike, right? So
Yes.
I asked that question in a very sincere manner, okay? Go ahead, Ms. Saito. That's the only reason why I'm asking. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But I mean, you bringing senators to the island. Everybody wants to come, right, Mike? I'm just sharing. Tell me that hammer thing have never broken before for us. No?
Yeah, I mean, it's our battery system. It's a different battery system too.
Just asking.
yeah.
I just curious. Thank you for what you guys do, Mike. I just wanted to listen today. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mahalo, Manny.
Okay. Anything else?
Is there anything else? Okay. There's nothing else. I will adjourn the meeting at 2:04 p.m. Today, the 24th of April, 2024. Mahalo nui for everyone for coming, for KIRC staff for coming into Oahu today, for the staff that presented on their projects, and then also to the commissioners who were present, and of course, Dan Morris as well, for your presence here as well.